Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to show you today how to unit test uh, exceptions with Laravel. So let's jump into the topic straight away. So I have set up a fresh Laravel project. As you can see, it just have one route, and I will be going to start my PHP artisan server. Cool. So I'm going to open that. So as you can see, now it's showing in the browser like this. So let's go back to the code. So I'm going to let me close this one. So I'm going to simulate a hypothetical scenario, like there is a student controller and we have a student class and we have a student route. So the scenario will be there's a route to greet to the student, welcome the student, and there is a greeting message like hello, first name of the student, hello Andrew, hello John, likewise. So and I'm going to throw an exception if the greeting message is not a desired one, then it will throw an exception. So after that I'm going to unit test that part to PHP unit in Laravel. Okay, let's start. So I'm going to first create a new controller. So I'll be need another new terminal. So I'm going to split the terminal, and yep, so I've got a new terminal. So I'm going to run PHP artisan make controller something called student controller. Okay, cool. So the controller got created, and I need a fresh class as well. Make class student. Cool. Okay, so we have now an empty class and empty controller. Okay, so I'm going to add a index function here, public function index. So we'll be having one simple index function. Oops. So for the time being, let's keep it empty, and I don't need this constructing. I'm not going to do any logic inside the constructor. The simple method will be there. So I'm going to create public function called greet student. Okay, and so simply first it will return return hello student. Okay, so let's first test this just with this without any arguments to the function. So then I'm going to create a new student object. Oops, over here, new student. Cool, it got imported automatically. Return. Okay, so I will simply return again student, say what's the name, sorry, greet student. Okay, so the controller side, class IDs we did quickly. Then I'm going to just add a new route over here, route get. So I'm going to use the route as student, oops, student controller. Okay, cool, it got imported, class and the method index. Okay, so far so good. Oh, this part. Okay, so I'm going to hit this student route and see what it returns. It should return hello student. Student. Yep, cool. So it returns hello student. So we'll add some additional logic here now and some additional parameters to make it customized. So I'm assuming I'm passing two parameters from here to the route, to the get route. So this will be greeting. The second parameter will be the name, student name. Okay, well, I will keep it simple. Greeting and name. So something will like hello Andrew, hello John, hello Tom, something like that. So then inside the index function of the controller, so it looks good. So I need to capture the request request parameters. So request, and I'm going to add two new parameters to my student class. So this will be string greeting and string name. Okay, so the return type will be also a string. Okay, so then simply I just need to return I'm doing string interpolation here. So greeting, which means hello, and name. Cool. So here it expects expects two parameters since we updated our greet student method. So I'm capturing greeting from the request and request and the name. Okay, cool. So up to this point we can pass whatever string for the greeting and whatever string for the name. So hello Tom, hi Tom, whatever. Even we can pass not practical things like bye Tom, because we are great student, we are going to like welcome the student. So not we don't expect kind of a bye with the student name, but for the time being still we can do that as well. So let's go and try. So I need to pass two parameters, hello Andrew. Okay, yep, so it works, and hi Andrew. Yep, but again still it works for bye Andrew. So now the next logic, customized logic, I'm going to add. We just going to restrict this part, greeting part, only accept hi, hello, and welcome, those three string values. Otherwise I'm going to return an exception. Cool. So let's add that logic here. So I'm going to add if not in array. What is not in array? So I'm going to add the greeting. This is the needle, the thing we need to find in the array, and this is the haystack. So the haystack will be an array of values. So I'm going to add hello, hi, welcome. So those three values should be in the array. If these three values these three values are in the array, if those three values not found in the greeting, then it returns an exception. That's why it says not in array, and the not in array, so this exclamation mark. So I'm going to return a throw new exception. So it got imported exception automatically. Cool. Something like invalid greeting. Okay, cool. So it returns invalid greeting, and that's it. Then let's try without. If we pass hello, hi, welcome, it should work. Okay, let's try without any issues. Hello, cool. Hi, cool, it works. And oops, welcome, cool. But it should return an exception. Maybe it won't be return an exception because I need to add some logic there, but let's try. Bye. Yeah, so it returns the exception directly to the class, from the class. But my workaround is going to be to handle it properly without throwing the exception to the front end, to the browser, and log this exception to our Laravel log file. It's inside storage logs Laravel log. Yep, it has some value, so I'm going to clear the log, and I'm going to catch the exception like using try catch block. So I'm going to move this part inside to the try block, and inside the catch, now what it happens, it automatically directly throw the exception to the browser front end from the class. So I'm going to handle it, and without throwing the exception to the browser side, I'm going to log it to the Laravel log as a as an error. So this scenario, you may think it's not important, or why we are going to log this into Laravel log. So but in an actual scenario, we can send this log error to some other tool to easily check an integrated tool with Laravel. Okay, for the time being we'll use log error. I'm going to get the error message, get message like this. So now at this point, if it catch this exception, it won't be throwing to the browser side, and instead of throwing to the browser side, it will log the error here. I'll refresh this simply. Let's see. Yeah, it handled nicely, so nothing comes to the browser side, but this error message should be inside the log, error log. Yeah, it shows from which environment, local environment, because in my env file it's app environment local. If it is production or whatever, development, UAT, whatever defined environment will come over here. And this error, because we in log through log facade, we can log different type of logs like info, error, likewise. So it's a error, it's an error. So and it shows the captured message. Cool. So now let's jump into the unit testing part, to how to unit test this through PHP unit. So I'm going to first, let's see what are the options we have. I can't recall them on top of my mind. So I'm going to see for the testings. I think make test or test. Oops. Yep, make test. Yep, make test. So okay, I'll try with PHP artisan make test, let's see, student test. I think it should be unit, otherwise by default it should be feature in previous Laravel versions. I need to pass this unit flag, I think. Let's see, because we have two kind of testings, feature and unit. I think by default it creates under a feature otherwise. So I'm passing unit. Yep, it created under unit. So this is student test. Cool. So what will happen if I just run php artisan test? It should run the test. Yep. So it run all the test. Let's try to filter only this test. I think this is the way to do that. Oops. Be filter. Yep, it's filter. So I'm specifically isolating this one, student test, this test case, and run it, because we don't have any other actual logic inside the sample test, other two sample tests, one feature and unit. So actual, because it's easier, we can see the result, one output. Okay, so I'm going to little bit oops, why? Okay, minimize this. Okay, so let's say some meaningful name. I'm removing this part. Test student greet student function. Say exception. We are going to test the exception here. Okay, so I'm going to create a new student object here. Okay, and I'm going to pass some values, invalid parameters. So for that, there's a thing we should keep in mind. We should prepare our test case for exception, expect exception at that thing, because normally we do, after running this call into this method, we do the asserting in a normal function. But the tricky part here is we should prepare with the before the expect exception before calling the function. Otherwise, once throw the reason is, if we call this function with invalid parameters and try to assert the exception, it has been failed already, because it has thrown an exception. So before that, we need to capture that. So that's why we say expect exception, or we can specifically say expect exception, sorry, message. So the message will be invalid greeting. Okay, so we are going to now call the method student greet student and greeting and name. So I'm going to give an invalid parameter here and any string valid over here. So this one should, test case should pass, because it throws an exception. Let's see. Yes, it passed. So because this is the tricky part, expect exception message, this one should come before this one. I will show you normally what we do. We, after calling the after we call the function only, we do the assertion in normal case. So if I try to make it easy, I'm copy paste this one and test student greet student. This is the this is a negative scenario, this is a positive scenario. So this one won't throw any exception. I'm going to pass correct parameter, and we should call after calling the function. We are doing the assert true, assert true, not assert true, not assert true, assert match, what call, no, assert equals, assert equals, yeah, expected and actual message. So expected one is hello Tom, because our parameters are these two parameters, and we are going to get the response like this over here, or even we can simply put it over here and we can get it rid of one line. So these two scenarios are passing, so this test case will be passing. Yep. So if I comment out this part for a while, and if I pass the correct one, this won't throw an exception, so it will be failing. Yes, it failed. Failed assert that exception with message invalid greeting is thrown. It doesn't throw such kind of an exception, so that's why. So I'm rolling back the changes. Roll back the changes, uncomment. Yeah, all good. So yeah, this is the thing we need to keep in mind. We first need to prepare our function for a exception message, or even I will show some another thing. We can't, if we don't want to actually capture the message and compare it, we can just say we are expecting an exception, and we can pass we expect exception not exception, and we need to import, we need to use exception thing. Why is that? It should work. Exception, okay, the class. Yep. So now still it should work, because we are just checking for an exception, whatever exception, not a specific message. Yep, it's still passed. Cool. So this is the thing I wanted to highlight to you guys. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Bye.